Welcome back to Tears for Fears. I'm your host, Megan Shoup. You can follow me on Twitter at Megs08DFS. And of course, we are talking week 5 tiers contest today on DraftKings. But before we do, please be sure to like this episode and subscribe to the FanSpeak Network. Also, check out our sponsors, Run the Sims. We use Run the Sims to help us make our tiers decisions, and you can too. They've got a lot of great tools for daily fantasy, so be sure to check them out. And check out my tiers article on fanspeak.com. Of course, I have all my core plays, sprinkle, fades, and favorite plays over in an article on Fanspeak. And then I've plugged in my core plays into a tiers simulator on Fanspeak. So you can use the tiers simulator on Fanspeak just to get different tiers lineup suggestions. So we're going to go over and go tier by tier. Now, I'm not going to go into why I'm fading certain players, because honestly, that would take a long time, especially as the tiers get, as we go further through the tiers, there's more and more players. So I'm just going to go through why I like my core plays and favorite plays. So let's get right to it and head on over to DraftKings, and we're jumping in, and let's start with, of course, tier 1. And of course, we have quarterbacks with Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, and Kyler Murray. And for this tier, it's pretty easy. I'm fading Kyler Murray. I am going to sprinkle in Justin Herbert. But of course, my core plays are the 2 quarterbacks with the best floor ceiling combo. And of course, that is Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. I know I've been down on Jalen Hurts. He has had an easy schedule, but he has been much more efficient this year passing. And it doesn't get any tougher this week because the Cardinals are a good matchup. So Allen and Hurts have the best floor ceiling combo. But if you look at Allen, I mean, last week, if that was his floor at 24 points, my goodness, I'll take it. So he has an incredible floor ceiling combo, even in a potential, game where they could be blowing out the Steelers. So Josh Allen is my tier 1 play. Over to tier 2, we have Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, Nick Chubb, Justin Jefferson, and Christian McCaffrey. And for this tier, I'm going to be fading McCaffrey. It's scary as always, but obviously our offense just looks broken. And my core plays are Justin Jefferson, Nick Chubb, Stephon Diggs, and Cooper Kupp. But of course, Cooper Kupp is my favorite play. I mean, nobody gets more of their team's targets than Cooper Kupp. He is a target monster and leads the league in target share. So he has an immense ceiling each and every week. And even against a tough Dallas defense, Cooper Kupp is my tier 2 play. All right, over to tier 3. And we have Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Austin Eckler, AJ Brown, and Derrick Henry. I know Eckler blew up last week, but I am fading him this week. He still does get limited touches compared to some of these other guys. So again, my core plays are Hill, Evans, AJ Brown, and Henry. I love them all. Very hard to choose, but I'm going to target my Commanders defense. They've been awful this year. And so Derrick Henry has an awesome matchup. And the thing with Henry this year is not only is he getting 20 plus touches a game, but he's now getting, the past couple of games, 5 to 6 targets. And especially now they're kind of limited in some of their weapons and receivers. You have to think they're going to keep targeting him. I mean, they'd be stupid not to. So Derrick Henry is definitely my tier 3 play. Over to tier 4, we have Marquise Brown, Deebo Samuel, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Williams, Leonard Fournette, and Dalvin Cook. And for this tier, I am going to fade Marquise Brown, even though he's been getting a lot of targets. That Philly defense is tough. And my core plays are going to be Deebo Samuel, CeeDee Lamb, and Mike Williams. I will sprinkle in a little bit of the running backs, but I don't have as much interest there. So out of Samuel, Lamb, and Williams, I think all of them, are in good spots to potentially put up a ceiling game this week, but nobody leads the league. Nobody gets more yards after the catch, the yak master, in other than Deebo Samuel. We watch what he did on Monday night or Sunday night or Monday night. And he just gets, with the ball in his hands, he can just do so much. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He can, run the ball out of the backfield. He still gets a high percentage of his team's target share. And then again, the yards after catch, he's such a dangerous weapon. So I like his ceiling here. And Samuel is my tier 4 play. So over to tier 5, we're back to quarterbacks again. We have Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Trevor Lawrence, Tom Brady, Kirk Cousins, and Matthew Stafford. I am fading Stafford. I am just going to sprinkle in Cousins and Goff. Goff has been playing very well, and Detroit has been a recipe for some shootouts. However, I think this one could be a little slower. So I'm sprinkling in Cousins and Goff, and my core plays are Carson Wentz, Trevor Lawrence, and Tom Brady. Tom Brady has a pristine matchup against the Falcons. He's coming off a loss. He's got his weapons back. So kind of all the stars are aligning for a big Tom Brady ceiling game. But also Lawrence and Wentz have great matchups. I mean, I know Wentz in particular has struggled incredibly the last couple of weeks, but that's against teams that have a very high pressure rate. Tennessee ranks, I believe, 26th in pressure rate. So target win him when he's not being pressured, and that's this week. Trevor Lawrence has a great matchup. Brady has a great matchup. Those are the three guys I'm focusing on. But Tom Brady, the GOAT, is my tier 5 play. All right, over to tier 6, we have Jalen Waddle, Jamal Williams, Christian Kirk, Miles Sanders, James Robinson, and DK Metcalf. I don't have a ton of interest in DK Metcalf, Robinson, Sanders. I just like the ceiling. It's nothing against them. I just like the ceilings on the other guys better. So I may sprinkle them in, but my core plays are Christian Kirk, Jamal Williams, as long as assuming that DeAndre Swift is out, and Jalen Waddle, obviously make sure he's good to go. Yes, I know he's, Teddy Bridgewater is leading the troops, but I still think he's an efficient quarterback that he can get the ball in playmakers' hands like Waddle. So those are my 3 core plays. But my favorite play is Christian Kirk. He is 6th in red zone targets. He has approximately a 28% target share for his team. He's, off to an amazing start for the season. As I mentioned, a great matchup for Lawrence. So does Christian Kirk. So Christian Kirk is my tier 6 play. All right, over to tier 7, we have Chris Olave, Dameon Pierce, Damian Harris, Adam Thielen, Najee Harris, James Conner, Chris Godwin, and Gabe Davis. In this tier, I am fading Gabe Davis, James Conner, Najee Harris. I will sprinkle in a little Adam Thielen because he has been getting some more targets lately. And my core plays are Chris Olave, Dameon Pierce, Damian Harris, and Chris Godwin. I think all those guys are either set to get a lot of touches or targets and haven't all been playing well lately. So, I know Chris Godwin just came back from injury, but he got a good amount of targets last week. Tampa Bay has been, passing at a high rate the last couple of games, and hopefully that will continue in a good matchup against the Falcons. So for that reason, just as I mentioned for Brady, I like Godwin's matchup, and Chris Godwin is my tier 7 play. All right, over to tier 8, we have Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, Drake London, Devonta Smith, Devin Singletary, Terry McLaurin, Brandon Cooks, and Deontay Johnson. I don't have a ton of interest in Deontay Johnson, Singletary, and Cooper. I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of London and Smith. And again, same as before, it's not a knock on these guys other than some of them, like Cooper last week, showed that, he can have some volatile weeks. It's more that I really just like the spots and the floor ceiling combo for Tyler Lockett, Terry McLaurin, and Brandon Cooks. Those 3 guys have a very high target share for their team. I think they are in great spots this week, potentially all in great game scripts. I think, honestly, Tyler Lockett is my favorite play, but where I will probably play, who I will probably play a lot of is Terry McLaurin. And you're going to get a great ownership leverage there. Nobody ever plays Terry McLaurin in tiers. He's always like sub 10% owned. And again, in these later tiers, 6 through 8, that's where I'm looking for these low owned gems. And Tennessee, as I mentioned for Wentz, is 26 in pressure rate. They also, give up a lot to boundary receivers. So Terry McLaurin could have a big day, and Lockett and McLaurin are my favorite tier 8 plays. So that'll do it for this week's Tiers for Fears. What do you think of my lineup? Please let me know in the comments section, and let me know who your favorite sneaky play is in the later tiers. And again, before you get out of here, please be sure to like this episode and subscribe to the Fanspeak Network. And don't forget to go to check out Run the Sims and check out fanspeak.com. Check out the tiers article. Check out the core plays in the tiers simulator. Run that and let that help you make your tiers decisions. So thank you so much for joining us. And now let's go make some money.